Urban Hang Suite and the Maduendela Institute for the Advancement of Science and Culture. And today we're going to be talking about, or actually more so answering a question of, is the black man God?
On a serious note, to the extent that black relationships have survived as they have, what say you about that 400 years later?
It is amazing that black relationships have lasted for 400 years. They lasted this morning. They're also going to last tonight, and you may not even know the person to whom you will have the relationship with.
Shalom. This is Mary Omni from the World Government House of King David, Holy Covenant Constitutional Enforcer. This is a Republic Notice. The title of this Republic Notice is a question. Is the black man God?
Well, I am to black people in America and the world as the Pope of Rome is to white people.
Peace to you again. I'm coming to you today with another lesson. This time, this lesson is going to be short and sweet. I want you to understand what's going on. I'm going to talk to you today about a word that we are living. We are really into the definition of the word, but we don't understand, okay? So I'm going to start talking to you about that and hopefully let you know that the year is ending now. We're in the last stages of 2015. Just in a couple of days, man, it's going to be January. Yeah, January 16th, 2016, January 2016. What a year. Well, I hope all of you guys and girls are finding yourself exactly where you want to be. And if you're not where you want to be, you're on course to be where you want to be. You know, that you have control of your lives and you're doing the things that make you who you are. You're not following the herd. You're following your own design. You got your own things you're doing. Now, this lesson is going to be about why are we still called black? Hey, that's a good question, right? Why are we still called black? So when you start understanding why you're still called black, you have to go back and ask yourself, first of all, did God, the Creator, Yahweh, Allah, Elohim, Elo, did any scripture state that God created a color when he created man? Did it say anywhere that God created man and man was black, or man was red, or man was white, and man became a living soul? The black man, the white man, the red man became a living soul. Did the Bible say that? Does the Holy Quran say that? Does any scripture say that? When you begin to go back and start looking, you don't find nowhere where God called man by the color of his skin. Man was not known by the color of his skin, man, until a certain time. And I'm going to get to that in a minute. But man was only known by his nation. Man was known by his nationality. In other words, what am I saying? I'm saying this. If you came from the nation of Ghana, then you were known by that nation. You came from the nation of Israel, you were known by that nation. If you came by the nation of Germany, you were known by that nation. Or you came by the country called China, you were known by that nation. wherever you are as a human being on planet Earth, you are not known and defined by the color of your flesh. You are known by and defined by the nation you come from, your nationality. Well, see, in the USA, there is a problem. There is an equation that still has not been solved for the ex-slaves in this country, or the so-called African American, the so-called blacks, or the so-called Negroes, or the so-called coloreds. See, there is an equation that has yet to be solved. Now, you would think that the equation had been solved based on the so-called leadership. But let me explain something to you. From the church to the mosque, from the mosque to the streets, from the streets to the colleges and universities, the first thing we learn about learning itself is definition. So in order to learn anything, you have to define that thing. So if once you know the definition of a person, place, or thing, you can have some knowledge pertaining to that person, place, or thing. And that's the way it is with everybody. So now here we are in these latter months, latter days of the year 2015, leaving, coming into 2016. Now here we are in these latter days, still discussing and calling ourselves black. Well, my goodness, man, when I go and read about my ancestors in this country, the ex-slaves, they never loved it. They never liked the term black ever, and they didn't have the knowledge of themselves. You see? So the equation that I'm talking about that still is unsolved is this fact here. When our people were kidnapped, when they were brought into bondage from their motherland, when they brought over here, coming from their nations, wherever it was, whether it was Israel, Egypt, wherever, Sudan, wherever they came from, the nation that they were taken from, stolen from, kidnapped, bought, whatever the case might be. When they came over here, they had a knowledge of themselves. They knew who they were. They were free-minded men and women. They had a creed. They had a constitution. They had a land. They had a language. They had religion. They had everything every other free nation have or has. So now, when they came over, knowing the information about themselves, how can you erase that information from them? You cannot. So what do? You don't want to use those people that you kidnapped as slaves. What you want them to do is have babies. So when they have babies, now you take the babies away from the parents when the baby is able to walk. So the parents won't instill the language into that baby. You know, the parents won't tell the baby about where they came from. You know, won't give the baby information pertaining to that child's nationality. So now the baby is removed from the parents and put someplace else. Now this baby is being indoctrinated by the slave makers, telling the baby what they want to tell the baby, putting in the baby's mind what they want in the baby's mind. So in other words, this went on for 64 years. So in 64 years, after they've had generations of slaves not knowing anything about their past or their nations, of their parents, a batch of them was sent to Jamestown in 1619. 64 years after the first kidnapping of our parents here in the Americas. So now here you got a group of domesticated slaves in Jamestown, not knowing doodly squat about their past. We are the one that came from those people, y'all. We are the offspring of those people not knowing absolutely nothing. Where you from? I'm from the cotton field of Georgia. Where you think I'm from? Where you from? So when you got this type of mentality, you have to understand, they were hoping that one day their children would be an asset. Their children would rise up and get an education and have a knowledge and change everything. And you know what? So many of our people went to school and everything, universities. They got degrees. They became professors. They started teaching and then do doodle squat to change the condition of the people. Because the most important thing about anybody is knowing your nationality. And that's just the unsolved dilemma that we have in this country today. We don't have nationality as a people. See, everybody else that's here, all the immigrants who've come here, whether they're documented or undocumented, they know their nationality. They know where they're from, you see. But here we are, we don't know where we're from, besides the cotton field of Georgia or Mississippi or some other place, you know. And the foolish one, the ignorance, the stupidity of our people will say, well, hey, I was born in a city, man. I don't know what you're talking about. See, they don't have no connection because and it goes back to the fact that that connection was broken. So they, you know, have been cleverized. That's the use of the word cleverized instead of glamorized. They've been cleverized to the fact that, hey, you know what? It's cool to be stupid. It's cool to be ignorant. It's cool to be you. It's cool to be me. It's cool for us to let it all hang out. It's cool for us to do all of the things that we are doing because it means absolutely nothing. Now, what you got to understand now, if you got these people who call themselves your leaders, and I don't care whether it's the clergy in the church or it's the ministers and imams in Islam, or it those who don't believe in no religion, who call themselves an atheist, an agnostic, whatever the case might be. If you don't believe in a God, you still stupid as hell. If whatever the case might be, we haven't gotten nationality. That's an unsolved issue for our people still. So whether you're inside or outside the church, whether you're inside or outside the mosque, whether you're inside or outside the synagogue, wherever you are, the Hebrew Israelites in this country are in the same condition. See, when you find a people who call themselves black, like the Hebrews, like the Muslims, like the Christians, like the atheists, like the people in the street, when you call yourself black, what are you actually saying? First of all, what's the definition of black? Now you got these people coming out saying black lives matter. Man, black lives matter. Black lives matter? Did God create black lives? Or did slavery create black lives? Who created black lives? And if it matters, how does it matter? Does it matter that it's going to be positive? Does it matter it's negative? So if it's going to matter, how does it matter? In order to find out how it matters, you have to go to the dictionary. Get a working definition of the word black. If I ask every person who calls themselves black, where did this word black come from? What's the origin of the word black? So if you collectively say that you are from the East, whether it's Africa, whether it's Israel, whether it's Egypt, whether it's Sudan, whether it's Ghana, whether it's Nigeria, whether it's Niger, wherever you're from, South Africa, wherever you call yourself, you're from the Congo, wherever you came from, are those people in their countries before the Western civilization touched their nations were they called black? And why is it that you are black? Is the word black, is the origin of the word black from Africa? See, that's the first thing. If you calling yourself black and you saying you are an African, or you came from Israel, which is still in Africa, what is your definition of the word black? What's the origin of it? Well, the origin of the word black is that it is Germanic. So if this is a Germanic terminology, why is it that Germans are labeling you when you are the oldest people on planet Earth? The first people are found on the continent of Africa. This is where life began. This is where civilization started. So why is it that somebody that was not even on the planet when you were, they can label you and give you definition for who you are? They can call you black and you accept it. What's the sense of going to school, getting education, if you cannot apply it to better yourself, better your people's self? Huh? What's the purpose? So now when you're saying Black Lives Matter, let's see, how does it matter? Look at the word black. What does the word black mean in the dictionary? Because people all over the world read that word and they understand the word black is gloom, it's gloomy, it's hopelessness, it's despair, it's evil, it's wicked. This is the definition found in the dictionary. So when you begin to label yourself like this here, no hope, sadness. Now, when you see the definition is being played out in our lives, where you finding our people being murdered, you finding our people just being shot down, our people being treated ill. Well, that's the definition of what black is. So when you call yourself black, you are living the definition. The definition of black is negative. It's not positive. So all the negative things that are being thrown on you is coming because you have chosen this word. Now, I know you didn't choose it personally, but these people who are supposed to be educated, who are supposed to be our leaders, they should have known that this word here was not a good word for us. See, our people that were in slavery, they didn't have a working knowledge of themselves. They didn't have the ability to tell the slave owners, I am a human being. I don't want to hear that. They didn't want to hear that. So our people didn't have the capacity to say that. But you've gone to school, you've gotten educated, you got the capacity to say that. Why is it that you haven't sought to have nationality? You just wanted to have a personality. The personality you want to have is a black personality. Something is wrong with that picture. So when you go on the internet today, you will find people who contribute to the ill will of our people. When you go and find something called Black Planet or Black Lives Matter or Black this or Black that, Black organization, black, and you got these other people, I'm a Black Muslim, I'm a Black Hebrew, all of these people are contributing to the ill that is happening to our people. And if you're following these people, you better stop doing it, because I'm going to tell you something. Me personally, I mean, decades, man, decades. When I go someplace and I hear somebody start talking this black stuff, I'm gone. I'm out, I'm gone, because I know right there, this person here doesn't understand what life is all about. You see? So if you don't have nationality and they want to give you personality, you think about it. You hear today, what's the cry? Black Lives Matter. What was the cry yesterday? Say it loud, I'm black and I'm proud. Say it loud, I'm black and I'm proud. And we said all of these things here. But where is that pride? There is no pride. Let me explain to you about black. And if you get it, fine. If you don't get it, hey, that's your business. But if you want to get out of this madness, understand what has happened. There is something known as clever. Clever is the best salesperson that I've ever seen in life. Now you say, well, hey, come on, Rasool, man, who is clever? Clever goes by many names. He used to be known as the deceitful one. He used to be known as the wicked. He used to be known as the tempter. He used to be known as Lucifer. He used to be known as Satan. He used to be known as the dragon. He used to be known as the serpent. He used to be known by so many different names, but his best and his most glorious name is clever. Because he is so clever that he can have you doing things. I'm going to tell you something. He can sell extra water to a fish. That's how clever he is. He can sell extra water to a fish and say, hey, have this water just in case the water you're in evaporates. He is clever. He is so clever that he took a person's gender. I'm born a male. He's clever enough to tell me, you know what, you feel like a female sometime. You know what, you should get your womanhood on. Or vice versa. And what happened? Here I am walking out now. I'm a male, born a male, but I'm inside I feel like a female. Or I'm born a female, but inside I feel like a man. And he is so clever, he can pull this off. And he has pulled it off. And now here we are today, going through all of this of calling yourself black. So when you call yourself black, look at the condition of being black. I'm going to hit you with something now, and I'm going to be like Jesus, because, you know, Jesus was hated. He wasn't loved by people that needed his love. He wasn't loved. He was hated. You know, Jesus was hated. Y'all know that, right? And I'm going to tell you something else that you might not hear from the clergy or people in different religions. Jesus also was a felon. He was a convicted felon. He was convicted as a felon, and he was sentenced to die on death. He was on death row. He was an inmate, and they put him on the cross to take his life. So I want you to understand that. Don't let nobody fool you, man. Jesus was a felon, and he was treated like a felon. He got beat, just like in these prisons you go to today. They'll beat the crap out of you, man. In the name of Jesus, they'll beat you up like they beated him. And they took him to the cross, and they murdered this man on the cross. When they carried out the sentence, he died on the cross. So why do you think he died? You know, he died because he was a convicted felon. He was found guilty, and they sentenced him to die by crucifixion. So now, since you know this, because ain't nobody going to tell you that, the preachers ain't going to tell you that, because the preachers, they don't like, you know, you're a convicted felon. Well, Jesus was the first convicted felon in the Christian era. So, yeah, if I'm a convicted felon, Jesus was a convicted felon. So I'm in good company, right? You hate me, you hated Jesus, so hey, I'm still in good company. So you got to understand this, man. Don't let nobody fool you. Because you got people, I'm telling you, anybody calling you black is not benefiting you. They are a detriment to you. So just know this. Now let me explain to you what they do to black people. So-called black folk get treated ill. As a matter of fact, the definition tells you what it is. Look at the definition. There ain't nothing good in black. And it's not an African word, it's a German word. And you calling around, are you a German? Where you from? I'm from Germany. I'm from Bamberg. You are? Yes, sprechen Sie Deutsch. Yeah, right. Okay, so anyways, you have to understand who you are and understand what has happened to you. Because these people today are not going to tell you nothing. Quit calling yourself black. Black is not a nationality. Black is not a race. Black is only a color. Black is only a word that European people used to place on you because it was a negative word. And it was done through slavery. See, when you're going to follow the law of the land, understand this. The Constitution of the United States gave you the ability through what is known as amendments. See, the 13th Amendment freed you from all of these slavery terms. You know, once you became free through the 13th Amendment, then you are free indeed. So if you're free, why are you keeping yourself in bondage as a slave by calling yourself these slavery epithets? Slavery epithets are words and phrases that would use in slavery to keep you in a certain condition or mindset. And now if you're free, you shouldn't have these same terminologies today, you know? But here we are, and we are still going into these names, black, and getting treated black. When somebody murder you unjustly, that's being black. When somebody treats you ill, that's being black. When somebody just take your life for no reason, that is being black. So understand, you and I are living the definition of the word black. Throw black away, because you are not black. And you think about it now, if they call you black, what is it that makes you black? Your flesh? If you look at your flesh, for most of our people, I mean, hey, I'm a very dark man. I lay out in the sun. I try to get burnt. I love the sun because of the vitamin D. But when I'm out in the sun, even look at me. I'm black. And well, I'm not really black, because when I get something that is black, it's darker than me. You know, I look at my hat on my head, if I'm black, I mean that there's something wrong. So if I'm educated, if I went to school, the first thing I should have done, I should have learned this in elementary school. Because as old as I am, they didn't have kindergarten when I went to start the school. So I should have learned in elementary school how to distinguish between colors. If there's a brown and there's a black and there's a red and there's a yellow, I should be able to distinguish between those colors. So when I look at myself now being dark brown and I call myself black, then when I see black, what am I going to call black? So something is wrong with my indoctrination. So if I'm calling myself black, it can't be because of my skin color. So I'm calling myself black because it's a lifestyle. And if it's a lifestyle, what kind of lifestyle is it? Is it a privileged lifestyle or is it a cursed lifestyle? Black is a cursed lifestyle. So you get treated the way the definition is for that particular word. When you call yourself a doctor, you know something about medicine. When you call yourself a thief, you know something about stealing. When you call yourself a virgin, you know something about your virginity. You know that you have not had sex. You see? So names got meaning and meaning matter. So when you say you're black, watch it. You're getting exactly what the word implies. You're being treated ill. And then it's got to be an oxymoron if you think that I'm going to be black, but then you're going to treat me with some type of respect. You're going to treat me with some type of equality. The word black doesn't imply that. So when I get treated ill, I get treated wrong, then I scream and holler and cry and say, "You're wrong, you did this to me." But what does the word mean? That's what it means. I'm getting exactly what I call myself. And it's not our fault as a people, it's our fault the fault belongs on the leaders, because if your leaders are not smart enough to understand this, then why are you following these fools? Anytime a man, a woman, boy or girl stand before you and call you black, you better correct that immediately. You understand? Because that's not the treatment you want. You see? That's not, but these are people who are supposed to be your educated leaders. I dropped out of school in order to teach you, because the school system is designed to keep you in a childish mentality. You're going to walk around here, a grown woman, a man with a PhD in your pocket, talking about you black. And then looking at your Caucasian brother and sister and saying that they're white. You just, I mean, come on now. Where's this coming from? So if you look at the definition of white, now white has a different definition than black. White, on the other hand, is privilege. White is godly. White is fairness. So when you start looking at these two words, one is positive, the other one is negative. And we're trying to make negative positive. You know, that's why you see what happened today through Clever. Clever, the tempter, God's greatest worker. You know, Clever is so good until God himself talked to Clever. In the Bible, God said to Clever, "Have you considered my servant?" Now, why would God say that? Because God knows that Clever has a job that he does better than anybody. So if you are negative, if you are a hypocrite, if you are phony, Clever will uncover that in you and pull it out of you and make you who you're supposed to be. Case in point. When you look at our people today, black folks, you see, why is it black people? You can go and talk to these people who call themselves black people. Black people will tell you, for the most part, I believe in God. Oh, I love God. Oh, I love God. That's what they say. I love God. I don't knock that. I don't disbelieve it. But I believe you love God from a tainted standpoint. You love God from a disadvantaged standpoint for yourself. You know, the Bible talks about, you know, not bearing false witness. So I'm going to show you that when God created everybody, you and me and everybody else, he gave us a certain look. When God created the Caucasian man, he made the Caucasian man handsome and beautiful, male and female. When he created the Oriental, he made them handsome and beautiful. When he created every other people on planet Earth, he made them handsome and beautiful. When he made you and me, he made us handsome and beautiful. But you, being robbed of the knowledge of yourself through slavery, you have been given a false knowledge, a false concept about you and your kind. You see, today, 2015, it's almost 2016 in a few days. Our people today, from the gutter to the White House, from the White House to the gutter, and all in between. In the White House, the First Lady, the beautiful sister, and her children, they walk around with hair pressed by a hot comb or permed, or maybe wearing weave, or maybe a combination of all three, I don't know. But I'm saying this to make a point, because these are black people in office. When you're black, you're working with negativity. Why is it that God made you and me a certain way? He made us with hair that was like lamb's wool, the Bible says. He gave us curly hair. He didn't give us straight hair. He gave us curly hair. He gave us knotty hair. He gave us kinky hair. He gave us the hair that he wanted us to have. He gave us a crown of glory. But here we are, talking about we love God and we believe in God, but yet and still God is not good enough. God didn't do us justice when it came to our hair and the way we look. God made a mistake. He made us dark. He didn't make us light like he made everybody else. God did a job on us that was wrong. That's how we feel when you're black. When you say to yourself, look here, you see this beautiful hair that God gave me? There is no hair like this around. And it's got meaning, brothers and sisters. But if you don't understand the meaning of it, then hey, I'm going to try to give you a little bit, and maybe I can help you out on your way with it. You see, your hair. Now let's look at other animals. There are the two animals that got hair like yours, huh? There's the buffalo and the sheep. But it's amazing when you read the Bible, you know, hey, Jesus talking about his sheep. Hair like lamb's wool throughout the Bible. You know, there's a description of the Ancient of Days in the Bible. Hair like pure wool, Daniel chapter 7 verse 9. His hair was like the pure wool. You know, pure wool, you can't comb that mess. You can't even get a pick in it. It's just purely knotty. And then in the New Testament, Revelation chapter 1 verses 13, 14, and 15, it talks about Jesus having hair like lamb's wool. And how his feet was burned dark brown or black because they was burned in a furnace. You know, see the difference between heating something in the furnace and burning something in the furnace. If you're going to burn bronze in the furnace, it's going to be black. You're going to burn brass in the furnace, it's going to be black. So he said it had feet like burning brass or burning bronze. Either way, you're talking about somebody that looked like you and me. Now we got three things that I want to tell you about when it started dealing with scripture and you. One, Jesus was a convicted felon who was put on death row and died by crucifixion. That's the first thing. Second thing, he had nappy hair. He had hair like lamb's wool, and he had feet that was burnt like burning brass. And then the Ancient of Days, which is God Almighty, had hair like the pure wool. These things here are in scripture. So you can say that is hate teaching or whatever you want to call it, but it's there. And I'm saying it points to a certain kind of people. So here you are, God gave you a certain hairstyle that was like Jesus. God gave you a hairstyle that was just like his. And you, oh foolish you, been sold because Clever came and Clever touched you, and Clever was real clever too, boy. He sold you a bill of goods. Tell you how bad he sold you. He sold you so well that you were willing to get a hot iron comb, put it on fire, get you some hog grease, Lord, and put it in your hair, your kinky, nappy, knotty hair. And you get that comb when it's hot, and you grab your hair and you start trying to pull the knots out. Smoke everywhere. Look like a mushroom cloud with all of this grease and stuff on your head, smoking and burning. And then the grease hit your scalp, and you see our people today doing that, and they're wearing weave. So what does this tell you? It tells you that you don't believe in God. You don't believe in the God of creation. You don't believe that God created you the way he wanted you to be, because you wanted to add on to that. And Clever was real good. He sold you a bill of goods, man. He sold you so well. You know what he did? This man got you today wearing hair that grew in somebody else's head. Didn't even grow in your head. Grew in somebody else's head. And then you got to buy it. And you got to pay somebody to put it in your head. Sew it in through tracks and all of this stuff here. Do you understand what that is saying? You got to be a sick people to do this. What's wrong with the way God created you? What's wrong with the way God created us? Did God make a mistake? And you go to church every day. The church is 90% women. You go to church every day and your hair's all fried and dyed and laid to the side. Then they got perm and you permanently damage it. Chemicals giving us cancer. Our young folks dying like you won't believe because of illnesses. And you talking about you love God. How can you love God who you've never seen ever? But you hate yourself when you look in the mirror at yourself in your natural state. That is not godly. That is not the way God wanted it for you. But when you begin to go back to your hair, I want you to understand something about this. Your hair got those little tight curls, right? Coils. What that is saying is that your hair spirals out of your head. It's just not grow out and limp and fall. Your hair spirals out of your head like everything in the heavens. The sun, the moon, and the stars, they all, you see that? They spiral. Your hair spirals out of your head. Why? It's giving testimony to the great God that you are original. It's giving testimony to God that you are his creation. You're praising God just by having your hair on your head. But don't nobody tell you these things. But I'm going to tell you, I told you this lesson was not going to be easy today. But I want you to understand this. You can never have happiness being black. Because when you're black, you go through the thing that you're going through. You are phony. You are not real. You don't have no nationality. You don't really have personality. You've been trained to defeat yourself. And you may think money is the answer to your dilemma. It is not. Money is not going with you when you leave this planet. Your car, your home, your credentials are not going with you. Only thing going with you is the habits that you created and your personality. The Bible tells us this. The body, physical body, is going to return to the earth where it came from. Because man was fashioned from the dirt of the ground, right? But your spirit is going back to God who gave it. And that's what we'll have to answer. Say, God is going to say to you and me, Rasool, I gave you a body to use while you was on the earth. I fashioned that body for you in a certain way. Why weren't you content with it? Why weren't you happy with the body I gave you, Rasool? What was wrong with the body that I gave you? Why you wanted to put some bleaching glue on and talking about you want to lighten it up? Why you wanted to go talking about you having a nose job? Why you wanted to go and talking about you wanted to have your lips smaller? What's wrong with the big lips I gave you, Rasool? What's wrong with that broad nose I gave you, Rasool? What was wrong with the kinky hair that I gave you, Rasool? And I'm going to stand there naked before my Maker. And the only thing I can say is, I don't know. Well, I don't know is not a good answer, you understand? Because I'm going to be judged based on what I am. But Lord, I was in church. I believed in you, Lord. I did a little preaching, Lord. Nigga, get out of here. Now you may say to yourself, oh, you use the N-word. Please. See, when you deaf, dumb, and blind, you understand this. I'm going to give you short and sweet. How you spell nigger? N-I-G-G-E-R, nigger. How you spell Niger? N-I-G-E-R. So if I say N-I-G, nig, E-R, am I mispronouncing the word? Or am I spelling it the way I see it? N-I-G-E-R, nigger. And you say, but the word is Niger. Yeah, the word is Niger, but the Europeans didn't pronounce it Niger. They pronounced it nigger. Yeah, you shocked me, man, for real? Yeah, man, the word Niger was pronounced by them nigger. That's where you get the word nigger from. So if somebody call you a nigger, at least you know nigger is a nation. Even though it's mispronounced, but it points to a nation. Black points to nothing but stupidity, death, chaos, and disaster. That's what black points to. Black doesn't point to a land, but nigger, Niger, is a land. There's a country. There's a nation of people. So when you use the word nigger, Niger, you are saying that you are identifying with a nation. But black folks say, no, don't use the N-word. Use the word black. Because black is a foolish word. Black is a word for you and me. Black is a chaotic word. Black is a sad word. Black is death. Black is destruction. And that's what you and I want. You go to a funeral, you're wearing black. Yeah, but yesterday when you go to a funeral, you wear white. But you're going to a funeral today, you're wearing black. Huh? So, why are you wearing black? Because it signifies death. It's dead. Black is dead. Black lives matter, that's an oxymoron. Black is not even living. An oxymoron. You know? So anyways, I hope you've gotten something out of this short lesson. And I hope you understand the fact that when you see your sisters, especially your sisters, man, and our brothers who have been hit by Clever. Clever is so, man, Clever is the best that ever did it. You think about it. Clever got men, male. I don't know what he whispered in their ear, but they had the audacity to walk out in public with their pants hanging off their behind. Got their underwear showing, got this new style of walking now just to hold their pants up. Walking with a sister who's sitting there with weave in her head that somebody else grew. I mean, and when you look at it, we are a mess. We are terrible, man. Here I am with my pants hanging off my behind. I'm out in public with my underwear showing. Right? And I'm believing that this is cool. Because Clever, he was so clever, he got me believing that this is cool. And then he telling me that's how a gangster does it, man. You know, or you say you're a gangster, you're a thug, man. You know, live that thug life. And here I am, I'm walking around like that. My pants hanging off my behind. And my woman with me, wearing hair in her head that somebody else grew in some other land. I mean, we are a sick people, man. I'm walking around here with my pants hanging off my behind. And I got tats all over me, man. You know, I mean, just like a comic book. I got all kind of drawings on my body. What it means, I don't know, man. I just say, Clever said do it, and Clever knows, you know, he said, I mean, it's going to be tight work. So, hey, I had it done, man. You know, I got all these tats all on my neck and all the way down, all on. I got Thug Life. I got a gun drawn here. I got a knife, and I got some dice over here, man. And I got a few words over here. I got a cross on me, you know what I mean? I got all of these things, man, you know what I mean? Why? Well, hey, Clever said to do it. I mean, Clever knows. I mean, hey, he told me it's going to be out of sight. And look at my woman. My woman over here with this phony hair in her head. Huh? Burning out all of her hair with perm. And here we are, we're a couple, man. But ain't nothing wrong with us, man. You know, live and let live. Why you ragging on me, man? Why you want to dog me out, man? Why you want to point me out, man? Because that's my job, boy. My job is to let you know you're better than that. God didn't make you to be a fool. God made you to rule your life. God made you to decide how you want to live your life. You don't have to live your life like somebody else tell you you should live your life. I mean, come on. We can't live phony, because if we build a foundation based on phoniness, everything we put on it is going to be to no avail, because our foundation is phony. Now, I know ain't nobody going to tell you this. They don't tell you this in Islam. They don't tell you this in Christianity. They don't tell you this in atheism. They don't tell you this out in the street. Nobody is telling you anything, because they don't know nothing, because everybody got this belief about who they are. And they all are black. And if I'm not black, baby, I'm African American. I don't even want to get into that because that's a long subject, but I'm going to say this about African Americans. African Americans, that's a Frankenstein recipe. You're going to be part African. Then the other part is going to be American. And you're going to put them together and you're going to get black. Stupid as crap. You are not a continent. Africa is a continent with countries. America is a continent with countries. So here you are now, you're two countries. I'm African American. I'm African American. You're the stupidest thing on God's green earth, but you don't even know it. And you think position, money, and power is what will save you. When you leave here going back to your Mecca, baby, you're going to understand your position is not going with you. Your money is not going with you. Your power is not going with you. You're going to stand naked like me and everybody else before our Creator. And you're going to have to give an account for your stupidity, for your ignorance. With that, I want to say, I hope you got something out of this, but for your own sake, quit calling yourself black. Don't let nobody talk to you about being black. Anytime you hear the word black, correct them. All right? Peace.